Hi everyone, welcome to today's tour of St Cadoc, which is in St Cadoc. This is another very special church and packed with history. The porch is the oldest part of this church and it's very interesting. There's a lot of nice gravestones that have been brought here inside out of the elements, and they're mostly from the 17th and 18th century. This one reads, "In memory of Jane, the wife of Peter Roberts, who died the 5th of March 1775, aged 38. Even though these are inside now and being protected, they are quite worn, and this one I can hardly read. This one dates to 1696. This one is 1742. This one is 1768. And this is quite a sad one. It reads, "In the memory of John, son of Jonathan and Margaret Austin, of this parish, who was drowned in the river Trophy, June the 5th, 1813, aged just 19. All you that by me pass along, pray think how soon my life was gone. God doth not always warning give, therefore be careful how you live. A dutiful son, a loving brother, a faithful friend to whomsoever." This door is believed to be from the 1300s. A very nice but simple octagonal font. This church has some world class stained glass windows, and as we go through the church, we'll have a closer look at them. This window is called Choir of Angels from 1879. It has four little angels at the top, then eight bigger ones, and they're each playing different musical instruments. The church was built in the 14th century, and the porch and tower itself are believed to be the only original parts of this church. The rest of it was rebuilt in the Victorian era. I've come here on December the 12th, and it's a really bright winter sun today, which is shining right through these windows. This window is called the Adoration of the Magi or Magi from 1914, and it's got the Virgin and Child in the middle, and then the three wise kings. Almost all of the church was rebuilt in the 19th century on the initiative of the Rolls family, the principal landowners of the parish. Now, they are one half of Rolls-Royce, and we'll go into that more later. The altar window is probably my favourite. It's so vibrant, and it depicts the crucifixion with the Virgin Mary. Also has St John and St Mary Magdalene. This was made in 1875. The church has that classic tiles, which I find in nearly all of these churches around here. This window is of Luke and John and was made in 1866. And the other side, also from 1866, is Matthew and Mark. Now, you'll always find Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in these churches. And for those of you who have watched my more secret videos, you'll understand what these actually stand for. This church was actually shut in December 2020, another church that we lost. But luckily, the Friends of Friendless Churches took it over. And with the help of them and with Cadoc, they've done a lot of work on these windows to restore them. I believe that the company Rolls-Royce have actually put a lot of money into it as well. As far as I'm aware, the church is still consecrated and people can still get buried here, but there is no services here anymore. Although I believe on the 23rd of December, the Friends are actually having a service here where there'll be carols singing and a local choir playing. This window is simply called Saints from 1884, and the two in the middle are St Michael and St George, and they're both standing with swords over defeated dragons. I absolutely love this style of ceiling in these churches, and this one's in a really good condition. The church is actually a Grade 2 star listed building, and that was designated back in the 27th of November 1953. The church is open every day, and some local people open and shut it. So if you ever come and visit, as I always say, there's always a donation box. So please leave whatever you can afford to help these churches. And the final window in the church, this one is of St George, and again he's slayed a dragon, and next to him is St Andrew. This window was made in 1918. I really enjoyed looking around the inside of this church. I'm not sure if it's always this bright or just because it was such a bright day outside, but what a lovely church. Time now to have a look at the graveyard itself. Just check out that lovely winter sun. You can clearly see the crown of thorns around that one. This is a really impressive Celtic cross. Very tall. It must be over 20 foot tall, I'd say. Dedicated to those who died in the Second World War. So here we can see the tower from a distance. And as I said before, it's believed to be from the 14th century, although the rather unusual roof was added in 1875. There are 6 bells inside the tower, dating from the 18th and 19th century. There's a few really nice trees around the graveyard, and a few of them are yew trees. They're not very big, so none of them are ancient. And you can see in the background there, that's part of the manor that used to own this church. Down the side of this wall, there's a load of old gravestones that have just sort of been dumped there. I'm not sure if they were taken out to be replaced by the more modern graves. This is the gravesite of Charles Stewart Rolls, son of Lord Clangatic. He was one of the founders, with Henry Royce, of the firm Rolls-Royce, which I'm sure you've all heard of. Their first car was produced in 1902. Rolls was a pioneer aviator. He was the first man to make a non-stop double flight over the English Channel. He was also the first British aviator to be killed in a crash. He died in an air show back in July 1910. This is his Celtic cross, an absolute beauty, and he's buried here with the rest of his family. I assume this is the church's original church cross. So that's the end of my tour for today. If you're a local and you've got more information about the church, please add it in the comments because it'd be very interesting. as usual, I can only find out things I find on the internet and the leaflet I got inside the church when I visited. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all soon.